The case to trade Lamar Jackson. If you're listening to this, you're either Bill Polian, which is impossible because he doesn't have the internet, or you're open to different ideas on how to build a team. I'm hoping it's the latter because I've got what some might call a crazy idea. I want to make the case for the Ravens to trade Lamar Jackson. Unlike Bill Polian, I'm not making this video to say that Lamar Jackson isn't a real QB, or that he's not durable, or any of the old school dog whistles that scouts use to discredit the accomplishments of mobile quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is a 25-year-old superstar. I think he's elite, and this video is to say that despite all that, it doesn't mean he's the right QB for the Ravens right now. So first things first, Lamar Jackson doesn't have an NFL agent negotiating his incoming monster contract. According to Jason Lockenfor at CBS Sports, other agents are saying that the Ravens have never presented an offer in the stratosphere of the $40 to $45 million per year deals that other top young quarterbacks have secured. Instead, the Ravens are focusing on 5-year deals around $35 million per year. Lamar reportedly isn't scared of playing on the franchise tag until he gets the deal that he wants, a la Kirk Cousins in Washington. And that prevents the Ravens from doing anything big in free agency because their cap will be locked up. There are currently 4 quarterbacks over $40 million per year in salary: Pat Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen. I'm sure the AFC champion Bengals will shell out this type of money for Joe Burrow when the time comes, and it seems like we can also expect to add Justin Herbert to this list as well, as he's received nothing but glowing praise from his organization. That leaves 2 QBs who are in this QB tier who are mobile, young, and their teams don't want to pay them top flight QB money. That's Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. For the sake of time, let's just focus on Lamar Jackson. So why would a team that has gone 37-12 and 49 starts from their young QB not want to lock him up long term? Well, it's simple. The Ravens have too many holes and aren't built to win yet. Their success has come primarily from Lamar Jackson being a cheat code and making the rushing game a cheat code by extension. Their defense is solid, but let's talk about the team's offensive holes. On their offensive line, Pro Football Focus ranked the Ravens 21st out of 32 teams. The Ravens were without Ronnie Stanley all season, and Patrick McCarry filled in well. But Alejandro Villanueva surrendered 55 pressures and earned a 58.5 pass blocking grade, which is more than 28 points lower than his career average grade. Only 3 playoff teams had offensive line grades near or worse than the Ravens. The Bengals at 20th worst, who will have the flexibility to address the issue, the Raiders and the Steelers. Poor offensive line play is near impossible to overcome if you want to win a championship, and you can ask Joe Burrow or Pat Mahomes if that's true. Next, let's take a look at the wide receiving core, which PFF has ranked 23rd best in the league. They signed Sammy Watkins in free agency and took Rashad Bateman in the first round to couple with Hollywood Brown. Watkins didn't really pan out, and Bateman was injured for much of the year. Mark Andrews is a highlight of this offense as the bona fide TE1, but Jackson hasn't really developed a bona fide wide receiver 1 rapport with any of his receivers yet, though Hollywood Brown is probably the closest. Duvernay, Prochet, and Tylan Wallace all flopped in terms of their wide receiver impact thus far. So we've established that they have holes they need to fill to become a complete team, so let's look at what you could get by trading an elite quarterback. Famous blockbuster trades include Ricky Williams, who went for 2 first-round picks, 2 third-round picks, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th-round pick. Michael Vick got traded for LaDainian Tomlinson in a 3rd-rounder and a 2nd-rounder, and Tim Dwight. Eli Manning was traded for Phillip Rivers in 3 picks. And most importantly, Matt Stafford was most recently traded for 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and their starting QB, while Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos for 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and their starter. Based on age and upside, Lamar Jackson is going to go for way more than Matt Stafford and Russell Wilson. You can rebuild an entire team with the haul Lamar could bring. Lastly, and most importantly, Tyler Huntley is quite possibly a starting caliber QB in this league, and they'll be able to be signed relatively cheaply. In 4 starts, Huntley went 1-3, which is admittedly not great, but he came in as a backup QB with an offense that is tailored toward Lamar and not Huntley. He also threw for 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air and 300 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns on the ground. Tyler Huntley can give the Ravens half of Lamar production for maybe 10% of his costs, maybe even cheaper. There's no one way to win a Super Bowl, but having a complete team tends to be the easiest way. Trading Lamar Jackson to a team that is a QB away may be the quickest route to get the Ravens over the hump again.